We're here today with AJ Fischer, who's a Proud Boy, and he released the video recently, a never before seen video that the government had possession of, basically exonerating the Proud Boys from seditious conspiracy.
We're never going to be the ones to cross the police barrier or cross something in order to get to somebody. We're always going to be the ones standing back, right? And we're always going to be the ones to fucking defend. And we've been really good at it. We've been, let's be honest, we've been really good at that.
The government has been hiding this video from us, just like they've been hiding 14,000 hours of other video. It's incredible stuff. AJ, can you tell us a little bit more about this video?
Yeah, so this video, it's not part of any of my discovery, but it's posted on YouTube. It still exists there today. It's a planning for the trip to DC on January 6th. And what the FBI and the DOJ have led the American people to believe up until this point is that the creation of the Ministry of Self-Defense, a chapter created in the Proud Boys in the weeks prior to January 6th, that this group was created, this chapter was created in order to formulate a plan to overthrow the government, stop the certification. You know, the list of fabrications goes on and on. But what this video shows that I've released to the public is totally contrary to that narrative. It shows the planning and the creation of the MOSD chapter was actually to save lives. It was to prevent people from getting stabbed and killed.
You were on the call. So this is a call that has been alluded to in actual indictments. The government has alluded to things that were said in this call, but they've completely misconstrued it. They've misconstrued it in a big way. And all this call does, in my opinion, is show that there was no plan, like the government said, a month in advance at least. And this is actually cited from the New York Times, which is crazy, that the government said that there was a plan that the Proud Boys had that was dating way back, well into December. And in actuality, this call was on December 30th, showing that there was no plan.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the illusion by the government is that the MOSD chapter was created, like I said, as some type of military, you know, Trump's army or some ludicrous thing like that. In reality, it was just standardizing procedures for when we rally, as we've done for 4 years and as we would continue to do, to protect people, to keep people safe, to communicate, and, you know, to have protective gear, medical equipment. You know, we wear our plate carriers, which, you know, the media thinks are bulletproof vests, but actually inside of them are sometimes Dollar Tree cutting boards. They're stab-proof vests because Black Lives Matter and Antifa members will come with knives and try to stab as many Proud Boys as they can, or just Trump supporters.
Right.
Just for people assembling.
Right. I'm familiar with it because I've been to rallies where we have been attacked. And even in the call, it alludes to how to build a stab-proof vest out of a Dollar Tree cutting board. Yeah. Because one of the Proud Boys had been stabbed at the Million MAGA March on December 12th. So there's a guy, from what I saw, there was a guy, Jeremy, he was speaking about how not to get stabbed. So a lot of this call was self-defense. How can we not get stabbed again by Antifa? How can we defend ourselves against Antifa? We don't want to mix with the regular people. We want to march in solidarity. We want to go there. We want to defend ourselves. We don't want to be a hot mess. And then afterwards, we want to drink, but we're not going to get drunk during the rally. We're going to drink afterwards. Is that more or less a good summary?
Absolutely. And they're talking about the December 12th rally. You know, like I said, some guys were stabbed. We had over 1,000 Proud Boys there. In Enrique's words, it was a mess, like you said, and they just wanted to do things better, just so we can be more safe.
Okay.
You know, there were civilians that were getting in fights with Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and that's how Jeremy got stabbed, coming to a woman's defense, and the guy pulled a knife and stabbed him right in the stomach.
Duct tape, goddamn phone books around your fucking. Around yourself. Trust me, you don't want to get stabbed. If you've never been stabbed, you don't want to get stabbed. So whatever the fuck you can do to prevent that, do it. I don't give a shit if it costs fucking 13 cents or 1,300. Do whatever you got to do to protect your fucking body.
You know, we didn't want to lose anybody. We didn't want to see that happen to anybody. We didn't want to see any civilians getting hurt. And they were standardizing operations for fun, safe rallies.
Now, is this scary for you coming out talking about this video because you are a J6er and you do have an upcoming trial? Do you have any fear that they're going to try to kind of retaliate against you for actually, you know, releasing this video and for speaking out?
I mean, they might, you know, but what's the alternative? To cower? You know, there's good men that are locked up in solitary confinement. Their trials aren't even set. You know, maybe December of 2023 is what I'm hearing. and they're being punished, they're being sentenced prior to their own trial. And we have these J6 committees, and these men haven't been able to defend themselves. Their stories has not been able to come out. You read the conspiracy charges against them, and they quote basically the entire crux of the investigation and of the indictment is the creation of this MOSD chapter.
The history of the Proud Boys, and you could confirm this and tell me if I'm right, is that they started off as a drinking club, and kind of some of the guys that they call rally boys, merged into security, so security detail at rallies. So they were going to rallies and noticing that a lot of people were being attacked at rallies, and were there to protect free speech. And I could vouch and say that I organized rallies here in New York for Citizens Against Political Persecution, medical freedom rallies, and we were attacked in 2021 like crazy by Antifa. People threw bottles of urine at us. They were throwing eggs at us, literally came with eggs and threw them at us. People were getting jumped. Someone threw hand sanitizer in my face. So Proud Boys would actually come and act as a security barrier alongside the police, to protect the people who were there for the rally against counter protesters that were violent like Antifa.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, in a lot of these leftist liberal cities, the police, I guess they're on orders from the mayors to stand down. And I've seen tons and tons of footage of grandmas or mothers or families being attacked, and the police are standing there lined up against the building just watching. And
right.
At some point, people have to stand up, and that's what the Proud Boys have done. We still are a men's drinking club, right. But we stand up for free speech. And if you want to abuse a granny in the street, hopefully there's not a Proud Boy there, who's going to defend her, because these Antifa black guys are, they're vicious and they're cowards. And,
right. So that goes back to the point of the video. What the video was, what the planning meeting, the Ministry of Self-Defense that the government has completely misconstrued and said that you guys were planning an insurrection and should be charged with seditious conspiracy, in reality was planning how you guys are not going to get stabbed by Antifa, how you guys are going to march in formation at the rally, how you guys are not going to get into any trouble, be more organized in this rally and in future rallies. And it ended there. And basically it talked a little bit about not getting drunk and drinking afterwards. And this is basically something that was in the government's possession that they never revealed, which is exculpatory evidence. I don't even think the lawyers had this. I don't think the defense attorneys even had this tape.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things that Enrique says, and why he picked certain guys to be a part of this group, is when we had 1,000 members at the December 12th rally, it was a little bit chaotic, and there were guys that were running off after Antifa guys and all that. And he says multiple times, we need guys that have throttle control. We need guys that aren't going to be shit-faced. We need guys that are, going to follow the rules, listen to orders, and be safe. Because if we have a chaotic rally like we did last time, we might have another 4 people stabbed and they might die. And, we wanted to standardize the medical equipment that we would bring, and standardize, how we would march and the communications that we would have, all to keep rallies safe and to keep the protesters there, the civilians, safe.
Hey! Whoa, whoa, hey! Black Lives Matter over here. Gotta help him.
I'm bleeding.
They stabbed me. They stabbed me. Bleeding really badly. Oh shit, they stabbed Bevel and Beatty right now. They just stabbed Bevel and Beatty. Call 911. Oh my god, you've got tons of blood coming out of your neck.
Yes, I do.
Okay, hey. Okay, you guys, this is getting really bad out here. We had 2 of our people, Bevel and Beatty just got stabbed in her back, and another friend of ours just got stabbed in his neck.
Do you feel that this completely, without a shadow of a doubt, exonerates the Proud Boys when it comes to seditious conspiracy?
Absolutely. It's been completely fabricated as some type of mission planning for some nefarious criminal activity. But the call is totally, it totally exonerates them. There's nothing in that call that shows that there was any plan to go, stop a certification of a vote, do a crime, storm the Capitol, nothing. It was just planning for another rally and rallies going forward, which is crazy, because if we're trying to take over the government, we're planning on having a concert later, with the singer from the Misfits. We have a Latinos for Trump detail that's going to join up with us later, and we're planning to, do an SPLC event in another state later on.
Rufio had just briefly mentioned today that we should go to Montgomery, Alabama, and do the SPLC thing. This is where we come into play, and we, as that chapter, fucking go ahead and do that, plan that, and put that together.
It's totally a fabrication, and if anyone watches the video for themselves, they'll see clear as day that this is just a lie.
Right. So your plans really were to go, and the singer from the Misfits, Michael Graves, actually signed an affidavit that you guys were all planning on coming to a concert at an Airbnb right after the rally. So I don't think guys that are planning on taking over the government, occupying the Capitol, number one, didn't bring any weapons, or at least didn't use any weapons like guns, would be planning on going to a heavy metal concert directly after, and planning on like what type of beer they were going to bring.
The truth is, people showed up to a protest and a rally like any other MAGA march in the months leading up to that. And the people were attacked by police, and it was violent and it was horrific. And, you can read some of my testimony that I've shared with the Gateway Pundit of what I witnessed. And you could watch the J6 Truth documentary and see there was no plan. They incited what the media ended up calling a riot, and that was the Capitol Police and the DC Police. And there was no intention to do any crime. There was no intention to break any laws. I think the truth will come out. It's coming out. I think it's going to be like an avalanche for these prosecutors, these congressmen who are just lying and putting on a sham trial for the spectacle for everyone to watch. And, they're going to lose. The truth wins, God wins.
Because there's nothing in that video that's incriminating in any way. If anything, it's the complete opposite. And like I said, the part that drives me insane is knowing that the government in the unselect misinformation hearing had this information in their possession, yet they decided to still keep slandering the Proud Boys, keep informing the jury pool, which is America, and these guys have a trial coming up, that the Proud Boys are domestic terrorists and insurrectionists and seditious conspirators, when the whole time they had this video in their possession, and plenty of other evidence we know that they have, that basically shows that everything they're saying is a lie. But they don't care. They continue to prosecute these guys. These guys are sitting in solitary confinement as we speak. Enrique Tarrio, Biggs, Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers, all the Proud Boys, all sitting there in solitary confinement, suffering. Their families are suffering. They've lost everything. And the government doesn't even care. All they care about is their political agenda. Liz Cheney is so evil. She is so evil because we know she knows about this video and other exculpatory evidence that they have not released to the public, that they have not released to the defense attorneys.
Yeah, I mean, if the truth was on their side, they wouldn't have to conduct this sham trial, with no ability for the defendants to defend themselves, to poison the jury pool, to poison America's, free thought. So, they're doing this out of desperation, and truth wins, like I said.
Well, I just encourage everybody to view the video. You edited a shortened version because a lot of the video, it's an hour and 40 minutes long. It's just guys going back and forth and bantering. So you edited it down for everybody to 14 minutes of the most important content. But we are not like the fake news. So we're also going to post in this article the full version. The full version, the full hour and 40 minutes. I mean, there's some brutal language in there, but whatever. It's guys, locker room talk. It is what it is, right? So people can watch for themselves and see that we didn't edit anything out. We're not like the fake unselect misinformation committee where we're going to pick and choose and cherry pick what we want out. We're going to actually provide for you the video in its entirety so you could see exactly what went on.
Yeah, if you have time, watch the whole thing. If you don't, I edited it down just so you can see the important parts. I didn't take anything unfavorable out. If it's pertinent to the cases, if it's pertinent to January 6th, if it's pertinent to Proud Boys planning, it's in there. If it's talking about women and beers, I cut it out. But you can go see the whole thing for yourself if you have an hour and 40 minutes. If not, check the shorter link. And don't let the media think for you. Look for yourself.